Yeah, as I'm sure you've mentioned, Governor Bentley has really had every opportunity to resign already. Speaker of the House, Mac McCutcheon, also the leader in the Senate, Del Marsh, both Republicans from the same party as the governor, have come out and asked the governor to resign in the last couple of weeks. And before that, we've had state leaders call for his resignation. So really, at this point, it's allowing the state to move on for the governor to go ahead and resign, allow Kay Ivey to take office. And remember that there's going to be a gubernatorial election come November 2018. So I think this is going to allow the state to start looking forward, and I think that's something that Kay Ivey will probably talk about tonight once she's sworn in.
Yeah, many people across the state tonight are ready to move forward and get this behind us. We are hearing, Lee, and if you can maybe shed some insight into the situation, that everything's being moved from the Capitol to the old House chambers. There have been a podium set up there at the steps of the Capitol building. We were anticipating at one point for Governor Bentley to come out and make his resignation official. You saw a whole gaggle of press members there, local, state, national press members gathered there waiting, but now we're hearing everything is being moved. Can you give us some insight as to what's going on there?
From what I hear, that's the case. Again, I'm at the Montgomery County Courthouse complex, but typically what happens is any official press conferences usually are held in the old State House and State Senate chambers, which are in the Capitol complex itself. Like you said, previously the press has been set up outside the Capitol complex, but I think you're right, and it looks from what I'm seeing on social media that everything's being moved again into the Capitol. And from what we heard earlier, from what I understand, from the governor's office, the swearing in of Kay Ivey will also be held inside the Capitol in the old Senate chambers, which is where the governor, for example, gets the State of the State address.
Speaking with Lee Hedgepeth now of the Lanyap, and that's the third floor there in the Capitol building. It's really a historic spot. You talked about that you have been in contact with some of the governor's staffers, and talk about the mood with those folks today. It's got to be a very, very tough time for them, kind of holding on and holding out hope that they would still have a job.
Yeah, I certainly think that's the case, and I think there's a lot of uncertainty as to whether Kay Ivey, for example, will keep some of Governor Bentley's staff, or whether, because of the scandal surrounding the governor, there will maybe be a shakeup in the staff surrounding the governor. So that's something that I think staffers are thinking about. And there's also the fact that these are people who, again, like you said, have been working in state government and have a lot invested. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the days moving forward.
All right, talking with Lee Hedgepeth with the Lanyap there, and we're taking a live look at the Montgomery County courthouse there. And Lee, can you give us a little bit of a lay of the land there, so to speak? Do we know much? I mean, are we expecting the governor to walk down that hallway and walk into those double doors into courtroom 3C, or are we expecting him to be kind of whisked in through a back door? Do they allow cameras in the courtroom, audio? What can we expect from this initial appearance?
From what I understand, there's no other entrance besides the front double doors, like you said. So we do expect the governor to have to come in. Sometimes in courtrooms you have, for example, doors from the judge's chambers, but I don't believe that's the case here. So we are looking to see the governor come down the hallway, and then after that, we're expecting the governor to likely be driven by his security officers back to the Capitol complex, where he'll likely give his speech resigning. And from what I understand, all of this came out of negotiations with the Attorney General's office, who was, of course, referred for felony counts by the Alabama Ethics Commission, who voted to do that after an 11-hour session. And they also had an independent investigation of the governor that was being conducted by Montgomery County District Attorney Ellen Brooks. So really, this is the culmination of both the impeachment process and two separate criminal investigations.
Lee, you talked about the Attorney General's office, and obviously we have a new Attorney General. And even though these charges have been, he has pleaded to lesser charges in this situation, there's still the overwhelming big question mark over the ascension of Luther Strange to the U.S. Senate and what transpired behind closed doors in that situation. We all know what happened to Rod Blagojevich up in Illinois, accused accused and eventually convicted of selling the Senate seat that was previously held by Barack Obama, and Blagojevich went to federal prison over that. We don't know what the situation is with Luther Strange, and I think there's probably a lot to be said for the reporting that's going to be done here in the next little while over that part of this story.
That's